Good morning, students. So this is basically going to be a class recording. So two of you are joined, um, but due to your pre-tasks in the Caliber program, so I'm not taking attendance for the classes. But your class recordings, once you view the recordings, that becomes your attendance. Okay. So you need to view the class recordings. Do inform your classmates as well. So since this is a recording, we don't have to wait for others. So I am going to upload this recording in Moodle so we can start our discussion. This is the last type of market that we will cover. We have already covered three types of markets. One is perfect competition, second was monopoly, third was monopolistic competition. And this is the fourth and last market where you will have to learn different models. Okay, and this market is called oligopoly, and in this market you will have to learn different types of model. Four types of models are there that you will have to go through. This is a very important type of market. Okay, so what is oligopoly? First of all, it refers to a market situation. Let me see if everything is fine or not. Yeah, mic is on, recording is on. All right. Okay. So, oligopoly refers to a market situation in which there are a few firms selling homogeneous or differentiated products. So, oligopoly sometimes is also known as competition among the few, as there are few sellers in the market and every seller influences and is influenced by the behavior of the other firms. So, actually, in oligopoly, there are two words. Okay, in oligopoly, there are two words which has been mingled and then this word has been derived. The two words are oligi, two Greek words basically. One first one is oligi, which means very few, and the second word is polyen, which means to sell. Oligo, oligi, and polyen. When these two words are mixed, it becomes oligopoly. That means few sellers. Okay, it indicates whenever you hear the term oligopoly, the first thing that should come to your mind is there are going to be few sellers in the market who will produce either homogeneous or differentiated products. Okay, it is sometimes also known as competition among the few, since there are few sellers in the market, and every seller influences and is influenced by the behavior of other firms. Obviously, isn't it? If there are few sellers in the market, then one of the sellers behavior is definitely going to affect the other sellers behavior. For example, in the operating systems market, if you say, the two names only comes to your mind. One is the Android and one is Apple, right? So these two operating systems are mainly used mainly for the smartphones market operating systems, isn't it? So when there are only a few sellers, I have told you two names. There can be more than two also, but not many. Okay, not many. It may not be even more than 10. It's like that. Okay, so when this operating systems example, think about it. When if Android comes up with a different feature which lifts up its demand, then in very few months you will see that that Apple is also coming with a upgraded feature. It is happening, right? In any market where you will see that there are very less seller, the and it is going to be a fact that one seller's activity is going to affect the other seller's activity. So that happens in oligopoly market. Okay, and another special case of oligopoly is known as duopoly, the one which you can see right now in your screen. The term duopoly, duopoly, it is a special case of oligopoly when there will be exactly two sellers. Okay, so Pepsi and Coca-Cola, this example, I will not say that this is a very valid example because these days other farms are also revived. Then you can say, take this example like Airbus and Boeing. The Android and Apple example can also fit in duopoly. When exactly two sellers will be there in the market, okay, for a particular type of product, which can be rare but it can be found also, okay. If you think about examples, if you search for examples, you will find when there are some markets where exactly two sellers are there. Two sellers are just, you know, are surviving, and two sellers are selling that product. So if that type of market is available, then that is known as duopoly. In India, markets for automobiles, cement, steel, etc. can be taken as an example for oligopoly market. In all these markets, there are few firms for each particular product, isn't it? If you go for any of these industries which require huge investment, you will not find many sellers like the ones, say for example, chips. There are a lot of sellers, right? That is a perfect competition market. But in oligopoly, it's not like that. There will be few sellers selling the same type of product or differentiated product. So there are different types which are there in the link. You can go through them. That is not much important, so I'm not going in detail of it. But features of oligopoly is very important, okay. This link will be there in Moodle after this class, so you can go through this link and read the different types of oligopoly. I will not explain in the class. Then there is features for oligopoly. First ever feature is few firms, as it is already clear to you, I think. Few, there will be very less firms in the market. Then there will be interdependence. Interdependence means that actions of one firm affect the actions of the other firms. Okay, a firm considers the action and reaction of the rival firms while determining its price and output levels. That means what? One firm will have to consider the activity of the other firms in order to set its price and the output level. Otherwise, it's not going to survive, isn't it? Because there will be only few sellers, and if you don't cope up with the other sellers' activity, then you will not be able to survive. For example, market for cars in India is dominated by few firms, isn't it? In India, the car market is not dominated by a lot of firms. Only Maruti, Tata, Hyundai, Ford, Honda. This is a countable number, isn't it? This is a countable number. A change by any one firm, say Tata, in any of its vehicles, say Indica, will induce other firms, say Maruti, Hyundai, etc., to make changes in their respective vehicles. And you can see this fact. You know better than me. You are young generation. You always go through the car, vehicles features, smartphone features. I know that. So you know better than me. It is a very rival competition which goes on in these markets. One, you will find one company, one automobile company coming up with one featured car. The very next month you will find the rival company coming with the same type of car with a little bit differentiated feature in order to catch the eyes of the customers. So it is going to happen. This fact is known as interdependence. Third one is non-price competition. Under oligopoly, firms are in a position to influence the prices. However, they try to avoid price competition for the fear of price war. They follow the price policy of price rigidity. Okay, price will be not much flexible. Firms will not alter their prices very now and then. They will stick to price rigidity format because they don't want to go with the price war. Feature war is okay, but price war is not okay. Price rigidity, it refers to a situation in which price tends to stay fixed irrespective of changes in demand and supply conditions. Okay. So in this market, you will see that price will remain fixed at a certain point for the type of products, and it is not going to be affected due to changes in demand and the supply conditions. Firms use other methods like advertising better services to customers in order to compete with each other. Then barriers to entry of firms. There is barrier. The main reason for few firms under oligopoly is the barriers which prevent entry of new firms into the industry. Why? I told you in the very first day, right, when I was discussing perfect competition market, that when there will be barriers, it means there will be issues of patents and copyrights. Only then, only that will restrict new firms to enter. You cannot copy the products and enter the market like it will happen for a potato market. It's not like that. Or maybe for any soap market. It's not going to happen in oligopoly. Okay, there will be patents. Requirement of large capital. Whatever in these industries, if you want to start up a project, it has to include huge amount of capital investment, which itself will restrict the new firm to enter easily into this market. Then control over crucial raw materials, etc. are some of the reasons which prevent new firms from entering into the industry. Okay, only those firms enter into the industry which is able to cross these barriers. As a result, firms can earn abnormal profits in the long run. Since there will be very less firms and there will be a restriction on the entry of new firms, so it is a fact that in the long run there will be abnormal profits for the firms. Then role of selling costs. Due to severe competition and interdependence of the firms, various sale promotion techniques are used to promote sales of the product, isn't it? It happened in monopolistic competition also. The selling technique is the crux. Advertisement is in full swing under oligopoly, and many times an advertisement can become a matter of life and death. That means firm will survive or not, that may depend entirely on an advertisement. A firm under oligopoly relies more on non-price competition. Okay, they will try to avoid the prices. That's why you will see Tata cars at some price. Same feature, Maruti car will have a different price. It is there. You can just go with the catalog of the different automobile firms. You will see the same structure. Prices will be different, same type of features, but prices are going to be different. And you can see this car manufacturing firms hiring celebrities as their brand ambassador. Why? Because they want to stand apart from their competitors. Okay, so sometimes selling cost role, sometimes not every time, the role of selling cost is very very important, and sometimes it happens advertisement becomes a fact of life and death. That means whether a farm will survive or not, that becomes entirely dependent on advertisement. Then group behavior. Under oligopoly, there is complete interdependence among different firms. So price and output decisions of a particular firm directly influence the competing firms. Instead of independent price and output strategy, oligopoly firms prefer group decisions that will protect the interest of all the firms. Group behavior means what? That firms tend to behave as if they were a single firm, even though individually they retain their independence. Okay, so there will be group behavior among the setting up of prices in oligopoly market. Okay, that will keep the competition of price away in the oligopoly market, because everyone will sit, meet, and then decide the prices of their firms. Group behavior, it means what? The firms tend to behave, you can say, even if in this dynamic world you may not see that owners of different car manufacturing firms coming together and saying, okay, you will set your price and 10 lakh, then I will set my price as 8 lakh, or I will set my price 11 lakh. Okay, like that we will go. It may not happen like that, but in this dynamic world, whatever prices are set in oligopoly market, they actually observes the price of other companies' products, and then they set the prices. Okay, and if it is a trend that Hyundai cars are going to be costlier than Maruti cars, then it will remain a trend like that. Okay. Hmm?
Additional perspective one or two.
Hmm. 1 to 3. Right. So group behavior will indicate that the farms will behave as if they were a single farm, but they will, although they are individual, and they will retain their independence. The nature of the product of farms under oligopoly may produce both homogeneous as well as differentiated product. If the farms produce a homogeneous product like cement or steel, the industry is called a pure or perfect oligopoly. Okay. When they will be, when the oligopoly will be called a pure or a perfect oligopoly, when you are talking about a industry like cement or steel, all products are same, isn't it? All products are homogeneous. So this type of market is called a pure or perfect oligopoly. And what is imperfect oligopoly? If the firms produce a differentiated product like the automobiles, then the industry is an imperfect or a differentiated oligopoly, but all are oligopoly. Okay, so one is homogeneous, which means pure or perfect oligopoly, and one is differentiated product, which means imperfect or differentiated oligopoly. Just remember this. The last feature is indeterminate demand curve. Under oligopoly, the exact behavior pattern of a producer cannot be determined with certainty. So, demand curve faced by an oligopolist is uncertain. As farms are interdependent, a farm cannot ignore the reaction of the rival farms. Any change in price by one farm may lead to change in prices by the competing farms. So demand curves keeps on shifting, and it is not definite, rather it is indeterminate. When we will study all the four models, now I was telling today in the beginning that you are going to learn four models. So when we will see these models, you will understand that there is no fixed demand curve in oligopoly market, and this models determines the different types of anticipated demand curve under oligopoly market that you will see. So I wanted to show you today at least Cournot's model, one model at least. Okay, so let me show you that. And this links, then kinked demand curve also I wanted to show. Let me see how far I can go. Okay, Cournot's model. Listen to me very, very careful. Those who are live in this class and those who are listening to my class recording, please listen to me properly. That if you have a book, please go to this Cournot's duopoly model. Okay, this falls under oligopoly market, but this is a special case of duopoly where only two sellers are there in the market. Okay. And Cournot's model, Cournot apostrophe S. Cournot's model is a model under duopoly market, which is again under oligopoly. Okay, so in your book, whichever book you are following, or you can also follow the book provided by our college. That is also very good book. In whichever book you are following, please note down the assumptions of Cournot's duopoly model in your copy or keep it with you for your assignment based exams. Okay, go through the assumptions of Cournot's duopoly model. Okay, I'm not going to go through that. I am just going to explain the diagram in this class. And description you can write from this link, as well as you can write from the book. It's up to you. Okay. All right. So in Cournot's model, what happens, here some absurd assumptions has been made. Cournot is the name of a person who has developed this model. He is a French economist. His name is Augustin Cournot. Okay. He has developed this model in the year 1838. But it was not so much popular. It became popular from 1888. Okay, his work was overseen, and after that, in 1888, something happened, and someone just had a notice of his work, and then it happened to become popular. But it is not a very practical model. Okay, you can imagine if your model is developed in the year 1838, and we are in in the year 2021, you can imagine that the models developed in those times cannot be practical in these times, isn't it? But you have to study, you cannot help. It's for your theory purpose, you have to study this model. And also you need to know that what economists of those time used to think and what how they used to develop the theories, so you got to know. That's why these theories are still there in your syllabus, okay? And also, if new works come, then only they can be replaced, and that's why this theory is sustains, okay? All right, now look at this diagram properly. This is the Cournot's model diagram, okay? Now listen to me, all of you. This DD dash is the demand curve, okay? And two farms are there. One is farm A and one is farm B, okay? One is farm A and one is farm B. Now let us talk about the behavior of farm A first. What farm A will feel, say for example, both the farms A and B are manufacturing uh, distilled mineral water. Okay, distilled mineral water they are manufacturing, or they are selling rather. Water is freely available in India, isn't it? So, what is happening in this market is the first absurd assumption in this model is the economist has assumed that there is no selling, there is no operational cost. That means there is no cost of production. So, it is only possible in case if you sell soil or if you sell rocks, isn't it? Those are naturally available, and those products does not need process of manufacturing. Those are easily available, readily available. Then water. Just you take water from the municipality, this one lines, water lines, and then you pack it in a bottle and sell it. It can be done. So it is applicable in only these cases. If you are selling some natural resources, then only you don't need any operational cost. So it is applicable in those cases only, okay? And in those cases, suppose in distilled mineral water, say Kinley and Bisleri, okay, two only, duopoly. So Kinley is A and Bisleri is B. So what will happen? So first Kinley will see that his demand is DD dash, and he will start producing a quantity which will give him maximum profit. Okay. So in this diagram, this OA amount is the volume of output being produced by the first farm, and the price which has been set for this amount is P. OP is the price. OP is the price and OA is the output. Okay. And this will have to be exactly at the halfway. You have to draw it exactly halfway of the demand curve. Okay. Then it is said that farm A is earning maximum profit. Okay. Then on seeing this, the other farm also will react in a way that it will try to capture the half of the market which has not been captured by the other farm. Say farm A is producing OA amount and it has captured half of the half of the total market. Okay, then farm B will imagine that I will not be able to capture the other half, but I will capture half of the other half which has not been captured by the farm A. All right, that means this point from A to D, you can zoom the figure and look at my arrow. This point from A to D dash is the other half of the market which has not been captured. So this farm B will try to capture the half of that other half. That means only point AB. It will not try to capture the entire half. Okay, it will only try to capture AB of the market. Okay, that means what? It is capturing a part of the other half of the other half of the market, right? So AB will only be tried to be captured by the other farm, that is farm B. In that case, he will have to set his price at OP dash. Okay. Then on capturing this market, the other farm, that means the farm A, the previous farm, Kinley, that farm will again try to capture the other half of the market which has not been captured by B. Okay, so this process will continue. The one farm which is now in the market, it will just try to capture the other half of the market which has not been captured by the other farm, but half, not full. Okay, half only the other farm will try to capture. So in this description, if you write this description, you will understand. You see that 1/4 B's output is 1/4. How is it? Half into half, like that. Then farm A is again doing that. So 1/4 B is capturing 1/4 of the total market. Then remaining is how much? 1 minus 1/4. Then half of that 1 minus 1/4 will be captured by farm A. That means half into 1 minus 1/4. That is 3 by 8. Then again farm B will capture half of the leftover market. That means 3 by 8 was captured till now. Then remaining is how much? 1 minus 3 by 8 is the remaining. 1 is the whole market and 3 by 8 is the market being captured till now. So 1 minus 3 by 8 and half of that amount will again be captured by farm B. That is 5 by 16. Then again in the third period, farm A will continue to assume that farm B will not change its quantity. This is again another assumption. Okay, one farm assumes that the other farm will not change its quantity. It will go on producing the same amount. Okay, it will not go change its quantity. And that is the reason why only half of the leftover market is achieved. Okay, so again farm A will believe that half remaining portion is 1 minus 5 by 16. Till now it has not been captured. So half of that 1 minus 5 by 16 will now be captured by farm A. So this action and reaction pattern, this pattern is called action and reaction. This will continue since farms have the naive behavior of never learning from the past patterns of reaction of their rival. So what is happening here? The farms, each time they are not learning from their mistakes. They are still believing that the other farm will produce the same amount. So in that process, they will not enlarge the total market quantity. They will believe that the same market quantity is going to remain and I am going to capture half of it. They are going to believe in the same way, and at the end they will be able to capture only half. They will not be able to capture the remaining part, all of the remaining part. Only half of the remaining part will be captured by the farms. And this is called a pattern of never learning. The farms never learns from their past patterns of reaction of their rivals. They never learn that their rivals are also reacting. They only understand that they are reacting only. Okay, and that is the reason this pattern is called action reaction pattern, and eventually an equilibrium will be reached in which each farm produces 1/3 of the total market. Together they cover 2/3 of the total market. Each farm maximizes its profit in each period, but the industry profits are not maximized. This is something like, underestimating your own capabilities by not understanding the behavior of your rival. This is something like that. Understood? So in this way, the process will continue. There is a mathematical derivation also. It is not there in your syllabus. Otherwise, you would have exactly understood how this 1/3 and 2/3 are occurring. So going by this half of the leftover like that, a point will come when both the farms will produce 1/3 of the total market. And together they will produce only 2/3, not the total market they will be able to capture. And that is the reason why in the industry, the profit is never maximized. Thus, the Cournot solution is stable. Each farm supplies 4 of the market at a common price which is lower than the monopoly price but above than pure competitive price. You all go through this lines, okay? That how this Cournot's model is leading to a stable equilibrium. Then there are criticisms also. In every model there will be criticisms. So you follow the book whichever you are following, or you can follow this link also and try to cover up this Cournot's model. Okay. Another thing I want to show you, just 5 minutes it will take. But another thing is kinked demand curve model. This is another model in your syllabus. Okay, under oligopoly market. One is Cournot's model. Next is kinked demand curve model. So again, there are assumptions in this link itself. You will find the assumptions. You may not follow book also, but for Cournot's you have to follow book. Okay, read from a book. So in kinked demand curve, there are 3 assumptions. One is that if one oligopolistic organization reduces the price, then other organizations would also cut their prices. Second assumption is if one oligopolistic organization increases the price, then the other organizations would not follow increase in price. Okay, so one is if the one firm reduces the price, then other organization will also reduce the price. But if one firm increase the price, the other organization will not increase the price. Okay. Third assumption is there is always a prevailing price in the market. These are 3 assumptions of kinked demand curve. So what is it in kinked demand curve? The slope of a kinked demand curve differs in different conditions such as price increase and price decrease. In this model, every organization faces 2 demand curves. Okay. In case of high prices, an oligopolistic organization faces highly elastic demand curve, which is DD dash. See, look at the diagram, DD dash. This is the case of higher prices. On the other hand, in case of low prices, the oligopolistic organization will face inelastic demand curve, which is capital DD dash. Small dd dash is the case of high price and capital DD dash is the case of low price. Okay, you will draw the demand curve in that way. Small dd dash will be a little stiffer and capital DD dash will be a little flatter. Suppose the prevailing price of a product is PQ. Suppose the prevailing price of a product is PQ. This is the price, okay? In y-axis, the price has been taken and it has been drawn in over here. So PQ is the price, okay? If one of the oligopolistic organization make changes in the prices, then there can be 3 reactions of rival firms. In kinked demand curve, this is the fact that if PQ is the price, suppose, and if one of the oligopolistic organizations make changes in these prices, then there will be 3 reactions from the rival organizations. Firstly, when the oligopolistic organization will increase its prices, its demand curve will shift to small dd dash from capital DD dash. In such a case, consumers would switch to rivals, which would lead to fall in the sales of the oligopolistic organizations. In addition, the DP portion of DD dash would be more elastic, which lies above the prevailing price. Okay, it means I will not be able to complete it within short time. Okay, it will require a little bit of time. All right, so we'll do it in the next recording. Okay, we'll do it in the next recording. We'll do it in the next recording, kinked demand curve. So today's recording will only include the features and meaning of oligopoly market and Cournot's model. Okay, next time I will upload the next recording. Okay, then it's 10:04 already. I'm ending the recording over here. I will upload it within short time once the recording